is really hard. I think the problem is that if you start running Facebook ads, you're not really clear about the policy and what, as you said, with sensational, like you don't know what they label as too sensational or too, let's say, overdone and what's too much for them. Can you give like a rough guideline on how you should approach this? Because you have to keep in mind, on the one hand, your ad has to convert, so you have to
Yeah.
speak positive about your product, but you cannot do it too much. And at the same time, I all the time I see really weird Facebook ads, like for crazy stuff with like I perceive it as they're breaking a lot of rules. A lot of advertisers on Facebook like break a lot of rules, like rules that are like I've seen pretty edgy investment ads. I've seen almost like pretty much pornographic ads, etc. All the things I thought Facebook wouldn't allow. So it's, for me, it's very confusing what actually is allowed. And can you comment on that a little bit?
Yeah. So there's a few ways to get around. I don't want to say get around, but a few ways to deal with these issues. So number one, let's say, take, for example, in the health and wellness space, you can get away with a lot more, for want of a better word, if you cite studies. So I don't know what, if you're selling, Nutra products, then they have certain ingredients. So you could say, here, this ingredient does X, and then you make sure that you've got a citation. But I caveat what I say with one thing. You have to be very, very careful and understand that either it's going to be a bot, right, or it's going to be a human being. You should plan basically for both, and just think that when the person from the policy team is going to be looking at your landing page, for example, they're going to scan your landing page. So for the policy, the stuff that's very important for policy, make sure that it's very evident. It's easy to see. What we found works really, really well with our clients is just telling stories. So if you tell a story in the first person about yourself, to give you an example, I don't know, in the dating space, I was this guy and, I was always used to be super nice, opening the door, straight away telling a girl that I love her and giving her flowers and all this kind of stuff. And I kept getting rejected. This is like, so just one example. Or I was grossly overweight. And then I did, this program or whatever it was. That kind of thing is a lot easier to fly. Don't exaggerate though. Like they're looking for crazy exaggerations. Don't, even if they're true. And, with some of our clients, they are true. They really do have unbelievably good products, and I tell them, just tone it down a little bit. And they're like, but it's true. And I'm like, it doesn't matter if it's true. The person at the other end of the policy, in the policy room, that guy needs to look at your stuff and basically believe that you are not, making outrageous claims, because so many people come to us and they want us to help them to re-enable their accounts. So as a managed agency, that we have that privilege that we can submit the accounts to be re-enabled. I'd say about 90% of the time that we're successful, because of the relationship and status that we have with Facebook. But then obviously, people want to find out what the hell went wrong. And oftentimes that I find it's one of the first questions I ask, and people will say to me, I don't understand what happened. We were running everything. It was fine. We were running these ads for 6 months. And then out of the blue, and it wasn't my fault, I didn't do anything wrong, all my accounts just started getting shut down. What's going on? What's flying? And the first question I always ask is, did you have anybody new around the period that the account got shut down connecting to your account? And oftentimes they'll say to me, yes. I hired a new employee, or I hired a new agency. Somebody new basically connected. And then what they don't realize is that you want to do serious background checks. Same, if not more, as when you hire an employee. what's this guy's history? Because if that person was connected to an account that was banned, or it was flagged and it was in probation or whatever it is, and he was a user or she was a user on the business manager of a previous account, and then they come and connect to your account, they bring that sort of, that bad history with them. And then they cause the account that they've connected to get flagged and can even be to shut down. And those flags can be on a business manager level, it can be on an account level, and it can be on a page level. And the worst is on the user level. So if it's on the user level and that guy comes on and he's like, hey, I'm going to manage your Facebook post. They say, great, let me connect you to the account. The guy's a user on the account. And then boom, all of a sudden this account, gets terminated, disabled, restrictions, probation, all of those types of things. Like, I'm obviously like paranoid to an extreme because I want to keep my account, my agency account. So we're like extremely careful who we let ever onto our business manager, and to make sure that all of our client accounts are running within policy.